Hello everybody, this is Mr. Rob and welcome back to another episode of the Dallas Wings, my WNBA franchise here on NBA 2K26. For last episode, we live streamed the finals of the Commissioner's Cup. Now, we were not in the finals, but we got to watch it together. And the New York Liberty won the Cup 77-33 over the Golden State Valkyries. It was a great story for Golden State, but they just could not get it done against the reigning champions. So today, we're going to get through the next little leg of the season all the way to the All-Star break. So we're going to get through the next 5 games and play 2 of them. So if you're excited for this one, make sure you drop a like and you subscribe down below, especially if you want more basketball content. As you can see, here was the score again. Just a not good performance from the Valkyries offensively, and the Liberty just too much to handle for the young squad. As Golden State actually set a record for least amount of points in a game with 33. We get some good news. Myisha Hines-Allen is fully healed, so she'll be back in the rotation. But we do drop the first game that she returns, 94-92 to the Mercury, where Paige put up 46, a rookie record for a WNBA player, but still couldn't get the W. Other games, the Aces beat the Fever on the road. The Liberty then beat the Sparks, while the Storm dominate the Dream, 90-52. That's a big win for Seattle. And then the Lynx do the same to the Mystiques. We then get to the All-Star Draft. We'll see where the players go, as in the WNBA, they draft their teams. And the 2 captains are Caitlin Clark and A'ja Wilson. So they will select their teams, and we will take a look at the results. As here is what the All-Star teams will look like. And A'ja Wilson will captain her team. She has Breanna Stewart, Alyssa Thomas, Alicia Gray, and Paige Bueckers starting on her team. Paige is a first-time All-Star, and she will start. A great start to her campaign. She's averaging 23 points per game, having a sensational season for a rookie. The reserves will be Nneka Ogwumike, Sonia Citron, another rookie, Sabrina Ionescu, Kelsey Mitchell, Satu Sabali, Kiki Irafin, so 2 Mystique rookies getting it, and Ezzy Magnabor. On the Caitlin Clark team, it'll be Clark Plum, Napheesa Collier, Brianna Jones, and Aaliyah Boston, Clark's teammates, while the reserves will be Skylar Diggins, Brittany Griner, Jonquel Jones, Jackie Young, De'Erica Hamby, Emma Messiman of the Liberty getting in for the first time, and Erica Wheeler. Getting into the next day, we'll see some more scores. The Fever will beat the Sparks, and Golden State loses to Minnesota in a 21-point loss. The Storm then beat the Liberty by 2, a big win for Seattle, who knocked off the Dream and Liberty in back-to-back games. Breanna Stewart's double-double is not enough, as the All-Star Skylar Diggins led the way with 16 points. The Aces dominate the Sun, and then the Lynx will knock off the Sky. And that'll also give us some more good news, as Maddie Siegrist is now fully healthy, so this team getting back to 100%. But again, we lose to the Mercury, 81-63. A 6-point first quarter was just not enough, despite Paige putting up 20 points, and Siegrist was the only other wing in double figures. Other scores, we see the Valkyries beat the Dream by a point, a couple of bad losses for Atlanta post-Commissioner's Cup, while Golden State gets their first win since losing to the Liberty in those finals. We also see the Sky beat the Mystique. Chicago is starting to get on in a little bit of a hot streak, while the Liberty beat the Aces 77-66. And your players of the month for June were Caitlin Clark and Napheesa Collier, while your rookies were Sonia Citron and Paige Bueckers, getting it for the second straight time this season. That'll take us into the first game of the episode, where we'll travel on the road, sitting at 2-18 to face the 7-11 Chicago Sky. One of our only 2 wins of the season come against the Sky, an 82-75 victory in overtime back in May. And hopefully we can replicate that here today. But the Sky team has been playing really good. Here's a look at their starting 5. And one player you will not see in the starting 5 is Angel Reese. She's currently out with a broken left toe for the next week to 2 weeks. So hopefully the Wings could take advantage as we head to Chicago in the Wintrust Arena between these 2 squads. Dallas losers of 13 straight games, but they're getting back healthy. You got Myisha Hines-Allen back, as well as Maddie Siegrist. And now we actually have a capable 9-woman rotation, and we'll see how it does here today against Chicago, who, like I mentioned earlier, is one of the 2 wins, actually the last win that we picked up this season, led by first-time All-Star Paige Bueckers, and you'll see the teams warming up before we begin the afternoon. As for the Wings, it'll be Bueckers, Kennerly, Siegrist, Hines-Allen back in the lineup, and Lee Uru, while for the Sky, it'll be Courtney Vandersloot, Rachel Bannum, Ariel Atkins, Michaela Onyewiri getting the starts for Reese, and then Camila Cardosa at the 5 as we get ready for the action. Sky in their home pinstripes, who actually played last night, by the way, and the Dallas Wings rocking their dark blue unis as we are underway as the Sky win the tip. They would miss their first shot as here's the first possession here for the Wings. Bueckers gets a screen, drives inside, and will score over Cardosa, taking it right to the second-year pro from South Carolina. First points for the Sky will be a three-pointer from Rachel Banham. The former Connecticut Sun hits from deep. It's 3-2 as on the pick and roll. Cardosa will put it up and in for the second bucket of the day for Chicago. Banham now for three again. This is a miss, but Cardosa skies for the rebound, and no pun intended as she puts it up and in. And she's off to a hot start. 7-2 now. Kinnerly on the three ball will miss. It's rebounded by Cardosa as Dallas has not scored for 2+ minutes. And on the other end of the court, Vandersloot finds Cardosa inside, who will score, and she's got a quick 6 as Lee Uru slow on defense in the early portions of this game. Here she is on offense. She gives it to Paige inside, who will put it up and in. As Dallas now is down 9-4. Here's another pick and roll where Cardosa will get an and one. 8 points already for Camila Cardosa. Lee Uru cannot handle her on the pick and roll or anytime on the rebounding. As Bueckers scores again, she has all 6 points already for the Wings. Off a pick and roll, here's Uru inside, and there's a nice pass that gets her going. Former Spark is on the board. 12-8 now your score, but on the other end, Cardosa is down the floor, and Lee Uru doesn't get back in time. I mean, the sloppiness of the defensive ability from Uru today has been on full display, as here she is inside, gives it to Bueckers, who lays it up and in. That was not pretty, but it got the job done, as she has 8 points so far. Now Cardosa finds her on a mismatch with Kinnerly, and she will hit the hook shot, and she's already in double figures. Cardosa this year against the Wings averaging 11.5 points per game on their previous two matchups. As here's Bueckers getting inside, and she gets called for a charge. I don't know if I agree with that, but they'll turn the ball over. And on the other end, Ariel Atkins in the corner will hit from three. The former Washington Mystique will make it a double-digit lead, 21-10. As we go to the end of the first quarter, it's 23-14 in favor of the Chicago Sky. Bueckers off to a hot start, but there's been nothing behind her. And the Dallas Wings have had no answer for Camila Cardosa inside. Second-year pro from South Carolina is here to begin the second quarter. Here's a nice layup that's up and in. That is Kia Nurse, the former Las Vegas ace. Reserves start to come in. Here's Sundell, who gets to the rack, looking like Paige there off the pick and roll. That's to do within 7. Here's a nice hand by Sundell to force the deflection into the hands of Miller. She passes it down the court to Uru. What a find by Sundell, making the most of her minutes in relief here. 27-20 now. Bueckers back on the floor trying to guard Courtney Vandersloot, but Vandersloot will get by her and score on an and one as Paige picks up her third foul of the evening. Starting to find herself in a little bit of foul trouble. As Vandersloot gets by her again, this time Paige not wanting to pick up the fourth foul, gives it up to the former Liberty guard. Bueckers now from three on the offense will connect, and again, we're down by single digits. Here's Miller with a nice deflection. They try to get it inside. Bueckers out on the fast break, gets to the rack, and she will score. It's 32-25. Good defense turns into good offense as Kinnerly, a former Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year, turned into points. After another make from Bueckers, here's Cardosa on the offensive board, and she'll put it up and in, getting right back into the action. 34-27, Bueckers for three. She's got it as there's a loose ball foul on Segras, but the bucket will still count. As Paige already at 22 points, and we're still in the first half of this game. Trying to carry this team on her back. It's now 34-30 as Atkins for three will answer right back. And Ariel Atkins, who's averaging 12 points per game this year, has got a couple of tray balls. And now she gets inside and scores on the old-fashioned three-point play. Drawing the foul from Hines Allen. 40-32 now your score inside for Segras over Vandersloot. And there's a nice play by the former Villanova Wildcat. 40-35 now your score. Uru pulls from a jump shot, and she hits nothing but the bottom of the net. And Dallas is within 3. 40-37 now inside a minute left to go as Atkins finds Cardosa, and there she is again on the pick and roll. Uru always just a half step behind Cardoso, as that'll bring us to the end of the first half. 42-37 is your score. Chicago up thanks to the play of number 10 on that team. Now, Paige Bueckers has led Dallas to only a 5-point deficit, but somebody's got to step up and help her. She has 22 points out of her 37, while Cardoso has 19, leading the way for the Chicago Sky. So we'll see what can happen here in the second half as we get back into the action. As we'll see the Sky with the ball after about a minute's gone by. Rachel Banham for three. She'll miss, but Cardoso skies for the rebound. Yuru had the box out, but she jumped too early. Cannot be having that. Now she finds Banham inside for two. Good passing there, and Dallas will call a timeout. They just got to find a way to stop the big lady inside as she's wreaked havoc all over this game. Out of the timeout, here's Bueckers getting to the rack, and she will score her first bucket of the second half. She has 24 points on the evening. Bad pass for Yuru leads to a tie-up where it'll be Yuru and Banham jumping for the jump ball, and this should be a mismatch here for Lee to win it. And she will not win it. You got it to win that tip. I don't know how you don't win that one. Luckily for us, nothing will come of the points as there's a mid-ranger for Paige. As Paige Bueckers got 26 now on the night. Trying to follow up her rookie record from a few nights ago against the Mercury. But there's a tray ball that hits. There's Ariel Atkins to get from beyond the arc. And how about a daily double? Well, she'll miss, but Cardoso will get a rebound. And there's a downed wing on the floor. It'll be J.J. Kennerly who goes down fighting for the rebounds. And right when we start to get healthy, we suffer an injury like that. Down by 9, Seagrass with a long 2 will connect, and again we're down by 7. Dallas just continues to just hang in there, but again the pick and roll is sloppy. Lee Yuru has got to play better defense. You're 6'7". You got to stop some of these players. Hines out in the corner for 3, she'll miss. She has had an ugly game thus far, has yet to make a bucket. 1 point on 0 for 9 shooting, and look who's running the floor. It's Camila Cardoso who will put it up and in. 11-point game as Sundell gets to the rack. She'll miss, but Seagrass gets the rebound. And Yuru will get the putback. So again, inside double digits. 57-48 now your score is. Banham will bring it up after the made bucket. And she'll find Cardoso inside who just gets behind Yuru. I mean, is she sleeping on the job? What is happening? She's got 29 points here tonight. As here's a nice pass inside for Seagrass who scores. And that's Sundell again with the pass. 59-50, Ariel Atkins for 3. That will rattle up and in. Gets a nice screen off ball. She's put her stamp on this game as there's a nice screen of her own that gets Seagrass on the pick and roll to the basket. As we'll get to the end of the third quarter, 66-52 now your score. Chicago starting to build a little bit of a lead. 14 points separating these two squads as they have wreaked havoc inside even without Angel Reese. Still down now by 15. Bueckers back in the game as she will score with Kia Nurse all over her back. 28 points now for the night for the former #1 pick out of UConn. And make it 30 points as she gets right to the rack here. Just so quick off those pick and rolls, they just cannot find an answer for her. She has over 50% of her points. Here she is getting to the rack again, and this time getting an and one. And again, Paige is getting us right back into this game. Only down by 10. This time finds Yuru on the pick and roll. And again, good vision as she gets the spark to double figures. 71-61. Kia Nurse for 3 right in the face of Paige Bueckers. Good defense. And sometimes offense, you just can't guard it. There's a nice layup for Isaiah James to get on the board. And then here's a step back from Paige that hits from deep. That was a step back professionally. 74-66 now as Chicago will call a timeout with 3 minutes left to go in this game. Now inside the 2 minutes, still an 8-point game. James gets inside, an off-balance shot will connect. And Dallas brings it within 6, not out of this game yet. 90 seconds to go. Onyewere up to Atkins for 3, and she knocks it down with a lady in her face. And that, my friends, might have been the dagger. 77-68, Cardoso being doubled. Vandersloot open in the corner. She hits the 3. And it being a 12-point game now with about 40 seconds to go. An errant pass is intercepted by Onyewere, and she will score. And that will just about do it for this game. Chicago will win 82-68. Despite a valiant effort from the Dallas Wings, they could not get it done. I will say this is the best this team has looked offensively, but there is just some defensive missteps in this game. And I hate to call out one player, but I'm going to do it. Lee Yuru has got to play better defensively. There was no reason why Cardoso should have dominated the way she did. I mean, we only got out-rebounded by 5, so the rebounding wasn't necessarily the problem. It was just the defense inside, the easy points, the failure to protect the pick and roll, even just like the up-the-court offense. Cardoso was getting behind Yuru like 4 seconds into the possession. That should just not happen, as that will bring us to the end of this game. Bueckers led the way with 36. Yuru had 11 points, but again, it was the defense that I was more worried about. And nobody other than Seagrass was in the double figures. So the news on J.J. Kinnerly, she's going to miss the next 6 to 8 weeks with a high left ankle sprain. So again, we get an injury or after we get some players healthy. Sun beat the Storm in overtime. That'll halt Seattle's momentum, while the Fever beat the Valkyries, the Lynx over the Mercury, and then the next day the Lynx dropped to the Sparks. That's a tough 2 games for Minnesota. And then the Aces beat the Mystiques. The Fever then knock off the Dream by 2, and the Storm gets some revenge over Connecticut. And then the Sky knock off the Lynx, and the Valkyrie will drop to the Aces. Taisha Harris is now fully healthy, so there's another key player back. As with her back, we lose to Indiana, 90-85. Clark only had 11. It was Sophie Cunningham who led the way with 18, and Yuru did put up 20 in this game, albeit it wasn't the most inefficient shooting. Other games, the Dream beat the Liberty, and the Sparks beat Connecticut, while the Storm knock off Washington. And then Minnesota will lose to Chicago, who are now up to 10-11. They've built quite a winning streak for themselves. Golden State beats Phoenix, and then the Fever drop to Connecticut, who are now 7-15. And the Mystiques beat the Sparks, which will take us to the second half of today's episode. We will travel at home at 2-20 now to face the 16-5 Las Vegas Aces, one of the best teams in the league, as a lot of power rankings have them as actually the best team. And we got to host them here at home in Dallas. Looking at the starting lineup, we'll see Chelsea Gray, Dana Evans, Jackie Young, Asia Wilson, and Cheyenne Parker-Tyus rounding out their starting 5, while for us, Taisha Harris will be back in the starting lineup now that she's returned from her injury. One player you will not see today for Las Vegas is Jewel Lloyd. She's dealing with some left knee tendonitis, and she'll be out for the next 4 to 6 weeks as we are underway here. As Dallas is losing streak up to 15 games, and it's not going to be easy in the next one as they got to play the Aces here. And that lady right there, the 3-time MVP, Asia Wilson, gets us started with a layup. On the other end, Bueckers will get her first points of the day. This is now 4-2. And both these ladies would kind of go tit for tat in the early portion, as here's Asia Wilson who gets inside again. She's got the first 4 points for Las Vegas. While on the other side of the board, Evans will shoot from 3. She'll miss. And Asia Wilson will get an offensive rebound. And you can see she's starting to put her stamp on this game. While Bueckers is doing the same thing. Here she is creating some space where Hines Allen will hit from a long mid-ranger. And Dallas has the early lead. Bueckers now gets inside off the screen, and what a finish with the right hand, protecting the body away from Parker-Tyus. It's 10-6 now. But Asia Wilson gets right back to business. She has all 8 of the early Las Vegas points. Next possession here for the Wings. Harris pulls it back, finds Bueckers for 3 with some space, and she knocks it down. And Paige is off to a hot start, now averaging 25 points at home. It's looking like she's on pace for that again, as there's a nice pick and roll for Las Vegas. 13-10 now. Harris backs up, and she's going to pull from deep 3, and she will connect. Tasha Harris from deep. Welcome back to the lineup, young lady. 16-10 as Bueckers gets to the rim. She beats Wilson to the punch. 18-10. She's got 11 points early on. Getting a screen now from Seagrass off the pick and roll. Maddie finishes at the rim, and Dallas's offense is looking really good in the early portion of this game. They lead 20-10 over Las Vegas. Young now for 3. She'll connect, so that'll cut into this lead. Jackie Young, 2019 number 1 overall pick out of Notre Dame. Inside, Yuru gets to the rack, and Dallas is just clicking. 24 points so far in the first quarter. And how about Loach says Seneschal getting in and getting the score, as Dallas on pace for over 100 points in this game. And at the buzzer, Miller for 3, and she'll get it. A 29-point first quarter for Dallas. Where the heck did this come from? As they lead 29-19 over the Las Vegas Aces. You can see the momentum and the confidence up for Dallas here tonight. Could this be the night that we finally end that 15-game losing streak? After a quarter, they're up by 10 as we get into the second frame. Still a lot of basketball left to play. It's a handoff from Miller trying to drive inside, and Diamond Miller finishes with the left hand. All the contested shots going for Dallas here tonight. They've only missed 3. So here's Chelsea Gray getting inside. The 2022 Finals MVP gets a bucket. Alyssa Smith now from the short range misses her shot. Fools Lopez on the pump fake. That's an easy 2 points for Alyssa Smith, the former Indiana Fever center. 31-23 is now Smith gets inside again, and she's starting to find her rhythm a little bit. 31-25, Diamond Miller gets inside again, and she will score. Miller now part of the second rotation. It seems like she's starting to find her footing, leading the way for the second unit. There's another basket for Diamond Miller. And if she continues to play like that, that might become her new role for this team. 35-25 as Nye hits from deep, as that's Aaliyah Nye, the second-round rookie out of Alabama, as Dallas calls a timeout, and Las Vegas really happy that Nye hit that three-pointer. Nice move here by Gray, gets her inside for an and a one. A beautiful move by Chelsea Gray. And again, it's back to a 5-point game. Here's Hines Allen trying to drive inside, kicks over to Paige for three, and she'll knock it down. Second made three from that spot, and Paige Bueckers picking up right where she left off in the first quarter. But so is Asia Wilson. She puts barbecue chicken on Lee Uru, 39-33. Bueckers now gets inside again. She connects at the point of attack. Paige Bueckers at 18 points already here tonight. But Asia Wilson on the other end is going tit for tat. She gets it up and in. And again, this is a 6-point game. Now Bueckers' turn to score, and she will, and she's starting to catch fire. 20 points in 13 minutes for Paige Bueckers. And how about two more? Mid-ranger connects. She's flexing. She's feeling it. Next possession here for the Wings. Hines Allen off the screen. Drives inside. She'll connect to the rim. And Las Vegas' interior defense is really being shown to be a weakness here tonight as Dallas leads 47-39 after 3 quarters of play. Paige Bueckers having a great game, but this Dallas team is looking like a whole new unit. Shooting 58% from the floor, 22 for Paige, 16 for Asia Wilson. Has not been enough thus far for Las Vegas as they currently trail by 8 points as we get into the second half of basketball. It'll be the Wings starting off with it, and quickly into the second half, Paige is going to pick up right where she leaves off. Jump shot connects. She's got 24 points. Next possession here, gets a screen from Uru, pulls from three. She's got it. 3 tray balls tonight for Paige Bueckers as she now has 27. On the next possession, here she is driving inside. Another mid-ranger, and it's in already. Paige has got 29 points, 7 here in the third quarter. But Asia Wilson, don't forget about her. She connects, the 7-time All-Star. Going to try to will Las Vegas back into this game. Here she is on Harris. That's a mismatch. What a beautiful fadeaway for Asia Wilson. That was money. As Dallas will call a timeout up by 11. Out of the timeout, Bueckers going inside, going to work, and she will get an and a one. Evans picks up the foul. Coach Becky Hammond can't believe it. She can't find an answer for Paige here tonight. Here she is calling for isolation. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Hop step inside, and there's no chance for Evans to guard her there. She puts the former Chicago Sky on skates. Here she is going with the pick and roll. From the mid-range, connects. Paige Bueckers is going on a historic run right now. 36 points now for Paige. Here she is again. Make it 38 to the rack. And again, she's in takeover mode. Las Vegas has to call a timeout. She already has 16 points here in the third quarter. There's a shot from deep for Smith, and she'll knock it down. So the Ace is still only down by 13, despite the show that Paige is putting on. As here she finds Segrist on the pick and roll. Don't forget she can pass too. 15-point lead here for Dallas with 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. Bueckers again with it. Finds Hines Allen for 3, and she's got it. Deep ball connects. It's an 18-point lead for Dallas. This is getting into blowout territory. 70-50, a 20-point game. Gray for 3. She'll miss. Rebounded, though, by Wilson with an and one, and Asia Wilson gets it to go. Averaging 18.6 points per game is Wilson. Now Bueckers again. There's that lethal hop step. She's inside. It's a 19-point game. 48 seconds left to go. 42 points for Paige Bueckers. An insane run here in the third quarter at 20-plus points already in the frame. And here she is again getting inside. She will finish at the rack. 74-53 currently your score. 44 points for Paige Bueckers as we go to the end of the third quarter. This one's a blowout, ladies and gentlemen. 74-53, which means with the 20-plus lead going to the final frame, we're going to go ahead and get to the end of this one where we'll see the final score is actually a lot closer than it needed to be. 89-81 is the score, but the Wings get the victory. Dallas ends the 15-game losing streak with a win over the Aces out of all teams here at home. And you got to see this stat line in just a second because what you witnessed in the third quarter was indeed history. Here's how the Wings played. They shot really well, only got out-rebounded by 4. But we know Paige led the way scoring today. How many points did she put up? 57 points. Paige Bueckers puts up 57 points in this game in 35 minutes. That is indeed not only a WNBA rookie record, she just set the record for most points scored in a WNBA game by a player, period. Breaking the record of 53 from Asia Wilson set 2 years ago. In her rookie year, Paige Bueckers is already in the history books. What a game for Bueckers here, and just what has been a sensational rookie campaign for her. Other scores to take a look at, we see the Sky beat the Dream by 2 points. The Chicago continues their hot stretch. Atkins puts up 24. Maybe the Sky don't need Angel Reese. We see the Mercury get a nice win over the Lynx by a point. There's a big win for Phoenix, who are still one of the top teams here in the league, as Alyssa Thomas led the way for Phoenix. And then the Storm dominated the Valkyrie, and then the Fever beat the Liberty by a point. A lot of close games here today, as the Liberty go down after a historic and a roaring fourth quarter for Indiana. Now, after this game, I meant to get to the All-Star game, but I accidentally clicked the Simulate Season button instead. Luckily for me, I was able to stop it before I got to the next game, but I did accidentally simulate the All-Star game. And my plan in the next episode was to actually live stream the All-Star game. Even though I simmed through the game and you can see the score is 110-98, I'm still going to try to go back and live stream that game. I think I'm just going to go and create a new file, because I still want to live stream the game. I had a lot of fun doing that last week with the Commissioner's Cup, and I'll see why we can't do that with the All-Star game. So in the next episode, I'm going to find a way, but we will have the WNBA All-Star game with the same players and everything. So we'll see how that goes in the next one. But thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. We ended our losing streak, and Paige had a historic night. So I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, make sure you drop a like and you subscribe down below, especially if you want more WNBA content. This is Mr. Rob, and I'll see you in the next one.